man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.
Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to Weave a Tale as we put on another episode of Pugmire, What Lies Buried. I am your humble narrator, Pope, and we have a lot to get to, but first and foremost, let's meet some of our wonderful people playing even more wonderful doggos. First and foremost, Alicia, how you doing, friend? What have you been up to?
Well, hey, Alicia, that's me. I am existing in the universe as it continues to spin on its axis. I'll be playing Daxi Dachshund. I don't know what she's been doing, but we're gonna find out together, don't you know? Me and my character's pronouns are both she, her.
Fantastic. Someone else who seems to always have a good time despite what's going on is Bubz, played by Marcus. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I have my name is Marcus Mays. Hello. Marcus Mays, he, him. I'm playing Bubz, a little cute Australian shepherd who, as I said, finds optimism in some things. Like today, I have a little bit of a headache, but what I find optimism in is the biggest cold brew I've ever seen and this cardboard cutout of Danny DeVito. So, let's do this. I'm ready.
That is bringing a very specific kind of energy that I think we all need today. Someone who always has energy to bring is Celeste. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing pretty good. I have cat problems, but I mean, hey, that's being a dog, I guess. Hi, I'm Celeste Shepherd, Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. Here I am with they, he pronouns, playing Raven Rat Terrier using she or her pronouns, and Raven's not happy. Raven's not happy with these Fae, but is anybody ever happy with the Fae? I struggle to find anybody being happy with the Fae, unless they're being forced into that.
We'll see how happy or displeased the Fae have gotten all of our good dogs here quickly, but we should remind everyone how we got to this point. So, our heroes were assembled to go on a perilous quest. They questioned the perilousness of said quest and are instead being sent to go consult an oracle in the Bog of Bones. As they were waiting on getting transport, they came together, did some team building exercises. Things were going well. They were enjoying the Stick Festival. And just as they get their Moss Frog and are getting ready to get going, all of a sudden, both Daxi and Bubz are just teleported, blinking out of existence in front of the rest of our good dogs. And with some howling by Hanklin, some sniffing around by Obbs, and some quick consultation with Harrison Pug, it was figured out by our party of good doggos that their friends have been absconded by Fae. And so the three of our good doggos rushed off into the woods, had an arduous time with the native flora and fauna, fording a river. It was rough, to say the least. And Then they finally found a clearing, and in this clearing there was this bizarre looking house. Bizarre in that it was made of bits of plastic on top of natural wood, brick, and mortar. And so, giving you all an idea why the plastic stands out, plastic is actually a currency in Pugmire. So think of a house plated in gold, and you get an idea of how our dogs are reacting to this hut in the woods. Our intrepid group rushed up to this hut, opened the door, and walked inside. We'll get to them and the trouble they're in for doing so in a moment. But first, in order to go forward, we have to go back. And so, let's go to the moment when Daxi and Bubz blinked out of existence and blinked back in. So, the two of you were outside the Sawgrass Lodge. Now you find yourselves in an interior space. The sweet smell of candied strawberries wafts through the air. A constant sound of wind chimes in a room with no wind. And things are very emerald and pristine. Green marble floors, green accented wood. It's very high end in here. Very devoid of furniture as well. It's just this very plain but opulent room that the two of you find yourselves together in. What do you do? The room has but one door and no windows.
Hey, Daxi? I might not be remembering correctly. Did we have friends, and is this not the place we were?
We definitely had friends, and we're definitely somewhere else now.
So we are
someone
somewhere
teleported
else.
us. Yes, we are
Oh,
someone else,
no.
for sure.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it'll be
Oh.
fine. Don't worry. If someone wanted to kill us, they would have just done it.
Yeah, and I'm still alive, so I always wind up being
See?
alive at the end of the day.
That's the important part. Although, speaking of
So what do we
someone,
do?
Dex will just kind of call out, like, hey, so whoever wanted us here, you want to talk to us, or you're just going to leave us in a room like this? I just want to know what flavor of mysterious you're trying to go for here.
As the one singular door creaks open with that classic noise. There is no light beyond this room. The door is distinctly into darkness. What do you all do?
Is there any? There's no furniture, but is there like stuff around? Is there a rock? Is there anything?
You are.
You know what? Actually, let's scrap this. Bubz reaches into some kind of pocket or pouch that he has, and just throws something into the door. Like anything that's on him, it doesn't matter. It's probably like a piece of, like a spoon he picked up somewhere.
So you're going to spoon the darkness.
Correct. That is my intention. What do I roll for that?
I don't need you to make a roll. Where I just wanted to confirm that you're spooning the darkness.
Correct. You are indeed.
Okay.
I might be honestly. Bubz might be sporking the darkness because I think sporks would be more interesting to what Bubs would be grabbing like immediately visually. Bubs is very about visual stimuli. So a spork. I'd say sporking the darkness.
We are
So
sporking the darkness.
what you could say is your choice of utensil is the fork in the road for this situation. I'd say.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Cheers.
I'm back, baby.
You never left. So the spork is tossed into the darkness, and you would think there would be a clattering sound, but no. Today is strange. As the spork meets with the darkness, it makes more of a spork thrown at high velocity into jello sound. More of a sort of noise.
Well, I'm all out of ideas.
I was hoping someone would actually talk to us, but the weird gurgling doesn't leave me much choice. And with that, Daxi is going to at least attempt to cast Smell Magic.
I love this so much.
Let's see how this goes. I'm sure this will go fine and nothing will go wrong.
This is going to take multiple steps. First, I want you to describe how you cast this spell.
Okay, so I imagine Daxi, since she has an audience, will start sort of very carefully walking around the room in a particular pattern, like making the outside circle, X's in between and whatnot. Whole little ritual there. But in order to do that, so she's going to do all that, and then at the very end to actually cast this spell, just kind of clap her paws together.
So you do the ritual, you clap your paws, and I'm going to use a favorite phrase of mine in this moment, in this place of magic. I want you to tell me what goes wrong, and I'm going to tell you how it gets worse.
Why does this always happen when I'm in campaigns with you? Okay. So it was sort of when the spork got tossed, it was sort of like this Jello-esque, maybe pudding-esque, like kind of squish sensation and what have you. So I imagine when Daxi did that, clapped her paws together. It's sort of, I like to imagine a somewhat sweet aroma starts to arise from the slime. And Daxi hasn't had second breakfast so far today, so she's starving. It's just like, maybe I could use a little pick-me-up for this ritual. Just dip. I mean, if a spork landed in it, clearly I can just have a little bit.
So
It attempts to indulge some mysterious dark pudding.
So you go to the darkness to devour the darkness. The good news, it's raspberry flavored. The darkness tastes like raspberries, folks. And raspberry jello. And you are devouring this raspberry jello to start your second breakfast. But again, your spell is active, and there are just all these contrasting magical scents that are bombarding your nose, your senses. It's just so much all at once. So you are combined having all of the sensory input, hungrily devouring raspberry jello that is completely covering at this archway, and you are barreling into this jello almost like eating is trying to kill the migraine that you are currently experiencing through your appetite. These two things contesting one another.
Daxi immediately blames this headache on the diet she was attempting. She's going to stop restraining herself.
Okay. So, Daxi was dieting before.
Yep.
For those of you who have been watching the show, you understand the horror that I, as a storyteller, am now experiencing. I have no remorse for what happens in the rest of this campaign now. None. So, you unleash yourself upon the darkness. Add this raspberry cello. So now there is a Daxi-shaped hole in the darkness to where you have tunneled through, and now there is light. There is light, and Daxi, you have appeared on the other side of this darkness into a hallway. It is at that moment we turn the page, and we cut over to Raven. Raven, you were the first one to open the door to this hut, and you were determined to confront whatever was inside and to just barrel forth ahead. Danger
Correct.
be damned. Good. So, you open the door, there is a flash of white light, and then I need you to give me a real quick check. That check being a balance test, please.
Okay. 15.
All right, that 15. Good news, bad news time.
Oh, fun. My favorite. Bad news first, please.
Bad news. You do not know which way is up.
Oh.
Your senses are kind of bombarded as everything has gone white and sticky. Good news. You think you are suspended in whipped cream? That's the good news?
Ugh. Hanklin? Obbs?
No responses. Just lots of whipped cream.
Where's Daxi when you need her? I'm gonna try and start digging my way out.
Okay. You're just digging in a random direction? You're not trying to orient yourself at all?
I think at first there's just a little bit of trying to go in whatever direction seems to give.
All right. I will give you the choice of a survive or traverse check.
They're about traverse is just a little bit better. Yes. Okay. Hey.
Nat 20. 21. Blackjack. Okay. So, describe for me how you are tunneling through this whipped cream.
So I think at first it's just she had the sword out initially. I think at first she tried to sheath it, and then she was like, no, wait, I can use this. So I'm sort of like it feels like it wouldn't be as effective, but like she seems to get a good rhythm going where she's swiping to one side and swiping to the other, almost like spreading it like you would with a butter knife. And she manages to get a good rhythm going and manages to keep like swiping through it in such a pattern with this sword almost as big as she is.
So you could say she's whipping
no.
it into shape.
Yeah, yep. Thank you for that.
That's where we're going. Okay. So, you are swiping back and forth, spreading the whipped cream to and fro. And then you come to a disturbing realization.
Uh-oh.
As you find ground.
Uh-oh.
At least it appears to be ground. It's pumpkin scented ground.
Ooh.
Oh, fun.
There is light. It appears to be the light of day. And you look back at the tunnel that you have made, and there's a little bit of whipped cream, and in this pumpkin scented floor, there is a door. It looks to be made out of graham cracker. But as you look up into the sun, the best way I can describe the scene to you is, how familiar are you with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Oh my fucking god.
As you are standing atop a slice of pumpkin pie at a tea party, there is just massive bits of china all gathered about. In the distance, like you're standing atop a large building, you can see below you, off the edge, just the edge of the dainty china plate upon the pumpkin pie which it sits. And then further along, you can see skyscrapers that are made of teapots. A giant, massive tower of cookies. But more disturbing still is when you start to look straight up, you see the largest anthropomorphic rabbit you have ever seen. Even in nightmares, even in dreams. Not paying attention to you at all. You are tinier than an ant. As this rabbit, with the most dainty of tea forks, is starting to push that fork down onto the structure on which you stand. What do you do?
I run.
Do you go through the door?
Oh, the door. Right. The door leads into the pumpkin pie.
The door appears to lead into the pumpkin pie.
Nah, fuck that. That's a trap. I need to find a way off this slice.
Okay. There are many ways you could go further into the whipped cream interior to hide. You could just run for an edge, jump and hope for the best.
Okay, if I try to prod my sword into the pumpkin, does it have give?
It has some give.
All right, here's the play. I run for the edge, throw myself off it, and turn around and stab my sword into the pumpkin so I can slide down.
Okay.
Carve a
Okay.
pumpkin. This is
So-
awesome.
So you could
Um,
say You're
no.
trying to
Oh,
cut and run?
I'm going to have you make a balance test for this
Okay.
to see how this goes.
Glad to have you back, Alicia.
You're welcome. I'm delighted.
Oh, that's fun. That's a
10.
10. Okay.
I've got good news and bad news.
Great.
Good news, you are off the side of the pumpkin pie.
yay!
That's the good news.
That's the good news.
Bad news is, as you've attempting to stab into this delectable pumpkin pie, you managed to find that occasional clump of cinnamon that didn't blend all the way.
Oh no.
And it's like stabbing your sword directly into a granite rock face as sparks come off your blade, and you are now in free fall. We turn the page.
Great.
Yes, we'll get back to our pumpkin spice free fall in a moment. But first we go back to this hallway. And Daxi, you have made a tunnel in darkness-colored raspberry jello. Bubz, you can see light at the end of the tunnel. What are the two of you doing?
I would say Bubs is cautiously just kind of walking through the Daxi-shaped tunnel as best as he can, and just maybe, I don't know, maybe looking for the spork if possible. He might want to pick it up again. You never know. You never know when you might need one.
Go ahead and give me a nose test. You do not find the spork.
Oh, well, there'll always be other. There'll be time for other sporks. Bubs, takes it in for a second, feels the pain that he's not going to see that spork again, but understand that sporks are for throwing, and if he didn't throw that spork, he might not have truly defined his existence as living. So that's how Bubs remedies that within himself.
Daxi, what are you up to?
Well, I mean, if Daxi were a different doggo, she would see this darkness imprisoning her, being all that she sees, and it might inspire absolute horror. She's not that kind of doggo. So she's You're welcome. So she's, the tunnel's there. If there's light at the end, gonna kind of like trundle through, sort of like licking her chops. Again, anytime if someone wants to have an actual conversation, we're good. I mean, you fed us at this point. Well, I say us, me. So I'm willing to talk this out. No, as not really a fisticuffs person, but just let it be known that I will win whatever this is.
And if you see a spork lying around, yeah, it's your call. But if you see a spork lying around, please let me know. Thank you.
Get my buddy back a spork.
Yeah. Mysterious being? Mysterious forces out of our control or comprehension? I don't know if anyone's here.
I mean, no, someone's definitely here. If they weren't here, I would have broken this already.
Oh, you got a point.
So you look out onto this hallway. Same green marble floor. The walls themselves are that Fisher Price off-white plastic. you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And those are the walls and ceiling. And you can just at the edge of your sight see that there is this junction. It continues going forward, but there's this cross section. And as you conclude asking about sporks, having someone reveal themselves, speak to you, a spork the size of a bobsled just rushes off down that T section of the hallway, but it doesn't make a normal sound. Instead, it's that particular Walt Disney goofy yahoo noise, as it just launches itself at high velocity down that cross-sectional hallway. And this is the reality that you are now dealing with. What do you do?
First instinct, just as Bubz does this bit where he kind of immediately runs at the spork, but then stops himself like with a split second of the initial run because he wants to go for the spork. It is chase the thing that's moving, but Bubz takes a second, just calms down. That's what Bubz does.
So it's funny
Daxi,
you
what are
should
you
say
doing?
that. So Bubz calms down after it's attempting to chase the spork. Daxi does not stop, however. So I imagine Bubz stops, takes a deep breath, and then is slammed into by Daxi. Just like, oh look, they provided us a ride. Kind of like slamming Bubz onto the attempting to like get onto the spork. I promise that
so
was all planned.
there's now this 2-dog pileup in this hallway. As you gather yourselves back together, and I'm guessing you're making it further down the corridor towards where the spork went.
Yeah, that's the goal.
So you guys make your way down.
If you allow, if we're not at the sporks yet, so I imagine Daxi kind of runs into Bubz and kind of as a reflex to catch both of us so we don't slam into the ground. Daxi would try to do I want to make sure I say the right thing. Okay, it is called that. Try and cast a floating disc.
Ooh.
You cast floating disc, and it does catch your fall. So the two of you are now on the disc. And are you going to chase after the spork via the disc?
Oh yeah, like a skateboard, 100%.
We will return to slaloming discs and sporks after turning the page. Going back to our pumpkin spice freefall, we tune back in with Raven. You are this is surprisingly high up, like unfortunately high up. As you are free falling, you have a few options before you make impact with the fine china. Option one that I can think of is attempt sorting the pumpkin pie again. Trying to aim yourself to the dollop of whipped cream that's off to the side and seeing if that will break your fall in any way, or closing your eyes and accepting your fate. What do you choose?
Oh man, option 3 is real tempting, but I'm gonna have to pass. I think would I have to like how far away is that dollop of whipped cream?
It is a good bit off to the side. You're going to have to angle yourself with I would say, a balance check to get over there. And essentially your options are, would you like to make a balance check or would you like to make a strength check?
I think we're going for the strength check.
Okay. So, stabbing the pie again, part 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
All right. Let's see this test.
Come on,
9.
Raven. Come on, Raven.
You don't get solid purchase. You thrust with all your impressive might for your size, with your blade, and it does pierce the side of this pie, but it does not dig in. It's not arresting your fall the way that you were hoping. And you are quickly coming to terms with Isaac Newton is the deadliest motherfucker in the cosmos as you are barreling towards this fine china. The good news is I think he'll survive this. The bad news is I get to make a roll now.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
you take 10 stamina. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
As you manage to arrest part of your fall, but still manage to impact the plate with a tinny thump. And you think you may have put a slight chip in the china. The tiniest of chips. As a sliver just shoots off into the distance. And all of a sudden you hear something like thunder. But it's not thunder, it's a voice. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't realize it chipped the china. It's just this pie is so good. Booms out over this table-like plane as you lie there on this plate. And we turn the page, and we are back in the hallway. You guys are chasing after at as high a speed as a floating disc can go, which is about 10 feet a second. So, not insignificant. Barreling down, trying to chase over this Thoroughbred Spork? Arabian Spork? I don't know. It's very fast. And now instead of that goofy sound, it has more of the sound of a clip-clopping gallop, but made by coconuts, as it continues going further and further down this hallway. And it hits another T section, and it makes a high velocity, like you didn't know sporks could drift, as it drifts down the hallway and then goes off to the side, and you hear something that from recent memory, but it's far louder and more cacophonous. That splorp noise, but just magnified as the spork disappears into darkness as you finally meet up with where you're at this T section. There is more hallway going straight ahead of you, very much the same. Ambient light coming from some sort of magical source. Then off to your left-hand side is a similar hallway, but then immediately to your right, there is darkness with a slowly closing up spork-shaped hole. What do you do?
How much more shenanigans can we make this?
It's a good start.
Okay, wait. So I just want to clarify: is the spork we can see the spork disappearing into the distance, or we don't see the spork anymore?
The spork is gone. There is darkness,
Okay.
but within the darkness there is a divot that is in a shape similar to the spork.
We have to continue.
I'm not letting a spork beat me. Are you serious? I eat things. I don't let things that help me eat things beat me.
Bubz is looking directly at the hole of the spork hole, and just goes
Spore. Yeah, that happened. Okay.
Some just primal took over in Bubz.
The bark of anger has been heard in the hallway. And Daxi, are you attempting to devour the darkness again?
I mean, if that's what the mission calls for, then sure. But I mean, is it really an attempt if we know I'm gonna win?
The darkness is blueberry flavored now.
Dabba dee dabba die.
And so, as Daxi has fully given in and has said, "Begone, diet," the darkness is being consumed. And we turn the page. Raven.
Yeah.
You are on your back on a massive china plate, looking up into beautiful blue skies. What do you do?
Well, first of all, ow. And then I get up.
Fair.
I have to find a way to become my normal-sized small self again, instead of my incredibly shrinky-dinked small self. And I'm getting the feeling that involves getting off this table.
Well, you look at your surroundings. There is another graham cracker door into the pumpkin pie. And then there is the pumpkin pie itself. There's a lot of plate, and you realize that there's this, again, it's a china plate. So there's this little incline, but it's porcelain. So it means there's not much to grab hold of. It's more like a teacup ninja warrior course.
Ah. Good. I guess she looks at the door and she's suspicious. She's doing that things dog do where she narrows her eyes and sniffs at it. And her ears are flat back to her head and she growls. But it's the door or the Porcelain Hellscape, and I think the door wins out. So she kind of throws up her paws and then goes for the door. Pulls it open.
You pull it open, there's another flash of light. Make me another balance test.
Oh, fun. I picked the wrong dump stat for this game.
So that was a that 1, folks, but due to modifiers, that's a 0. There is now a level 0.
Yep.
So, you think you are your normal size again. This is a good thing. Bad thing. You're free falling again. This sensation that you know has just become familiar with. And you can't quite tell what is below you, as everything is like Bob Rossian light fluffy clouds. We turn the page.
Great.
So you have barreled through the darkness, barking at it with the bark of anger, just blueberry flavored. You are on the other side, and you have found that the spork you are chasing has changed. It now appears to be a beast of burden, a ox made of sporks. So this massive bovine made of metal utensils. And it does not appear to be pleased with your presence. What do you do?
Well, Bubs's barks go from to
Noted.
You
Daxi.
you said it was that there. You said there's a bovine blocking our way.
Yes. And a spork made bovine blocking your way.
So is it made out of bovine now, or is it made out of spork? Because that decidedly changes what Daxi will do.
It is a bovine made of sporks.
Well, that's less fun. All right. Spork, huh? Let's see. What do I got? Would that hurt it though? I don't know. Oh, you know what? Okay. Can I how well crafted are these sporks?
These are some fine sporks.
They're fine sporks, huh? Okay. All right, okay. But being made out of spork, you know what? I have an idea. It probably won't work. We're gonna try it. We're in some sort of magical altered space. Daxi's had about enough of this. She is both hungry and also being taunted by cutlery. So she's gonna just lightning bolt this thing. I've had enough, personally. I've done it a little differently otherwise. Any luck will affect electromagnetic field, but that's probably asking a lot. We'll see.
Okay.
Lightning bolt. I don't know if I have a...
What is the test the bovine must make against your lightning bolt?
Against lightning bolt, it must make test that I definitely already looked up, and I'm not scrambling through the PDF right now. Just ignore my reading face. Oh, wait, nope, too far.
I'm guessing it's a dexterity save.
Yes, it is a dex save.
And what's the DC?
Excellent
This is
question.
using 5e engine, so I'm guessing you're casting off of your int, if I'm correct.
Oh, in that case, that fails.
Okay.
Yes, and
so
it would be
12
cast
fails.
nothing. Yes, it does.
All right. So go ahead and roll your damage. $24.
24. Not bad.
Okay. I now need both you and Bubs to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Fair and terrifying. Absolutely.
It'll be fine.
That's a 12.
It is
For
not
somebody.
It is not fine. That is
For everyone not
It's very
here, it
much-
is.
not fine.
Scary math is happening.
Oh, you both take 20 stamina damage as the lightning bolt hits. It does what it says on the tin. It's a lightning bolt, and it hits this metallic bovine, doing precisely enough damage to kill it in a single instant, and it explodes, sending spork-like shrapnel everywhere and into you. And
Oh, no.
my friends, is where we're going to take our break.
Of
Oh,
course.
no.
We'll be right back. Take care.
Let it rain
everybody.
sporks.
a resplendent offering.
man has gone missing, and in their absence, the world has changed. In many ways, it has become a wide frontier filled with peril and adventure. The dogs of Pugmire seek to uncover the artifacts that man has left behind, protect the weak, and guard against the forces of the unseen.
Hello, wonderful people, and we're back for more Pugmire What Lies Buried. Shout out to our friends over at Pandex, or P4NDX. Either way, thank you so much for a delightful raid. Thank you, Roller, for the donation. All of our good dogs have a D6 inspiration with a triple bit of luck. So, when last we left off, there was big fluffy clouds being fallen through and a spork explosion. But first, we will deal with the spork-like fallout in a moment. But first, we meet up with fluffy clouds and falling out of the sky. Could say a painted sky. So, Raven, what are you doing?
I doubt there's a pumpkin pie this time for me to try and dig my sword into. But I am definitely on the lookout for the first anything that seems like I can use to stop my descent.
As fur and armor meet with fluffy cloud, the cloud may appear fluffy, but it has more of an oil-like texture as you impact it. It paints your armor white as you make impact, and it's almost like hitting a trampoline as you bounce slightly. It's almost like, and then you feel this weird contraction as though you are on one side of a cellophane membrane, and on the other side it feels like canvas. You look down at yourself and you're two-dimensional now. And you are literally standing on a cloud.
Two-dimensional top-down or from the side?
From the side.
Okay. Well, I guess my options now are left or right. What is left?
It looks to be more clouds and what appears to be the top of a tree.
What is right?
More clouds and what appears to be the top of a mountain.
I'm gonna go with the mountain.
Okay, and so for our audience, you have this beautiful painting. Think of a Bob Ross landscape. But on it is Raven Rat Terrier in 2 dimensions. And like Paper Mario, is scooting along the painting atop these clouds, making it to this mountain. Now you're at the edge. You have dimension has sort of shifted a la Paper Mario as you kind of like flip around. And now forward is you are on the mountain. You can go further back into the painting, into the mountain, or more towards the foreground. What do you choose?
Foreground.
So you're walking away from the mountain. Give me a strength test.
Oh boy. Oh gosh.
You do have inspiration.
I think I'm going to cash that in.
Okay, so a d20 with a d6.
15.
Yeah, 15 is what you needed. Just what you needed.
Thank you, roller.
And you, with the sound of ripping canvas, there is a pop, and you find yourself in a gallery. And you see there is a smaller U-shaped hole in the painting that you're now facing. As there are all these other paintings in this very white, except for the marble green floor of this gallery. What do you do?
I'm looking for a door.
You find two doors.
Oh.
There is a blue door,
Oh.
and there is a graham cracker door.
My instincts tell me that the graham cracker door is what I went through before that put me in the painting, so I don't want to. But they're also telling me that if I think that way, then it's going to be the opposite of that. I don't like this.
I mean, I feel like you just have to decide if you think the Graham door will be all it's cracked up to be.
Oh my god.
No, it burns! It burns!
You're welcome.
Normally I'm reveling in the chaos, but not now. Not now. Graham cracker door. Graham cracker door.
Oh,
Let's go.
are you going through the graham cracker door?
Can I get away with opening it and just looking?
You
Or I make my
can,
decision.
if you give me a balance test.
Okay. I'm gonna try. I have to. Nope.
6.
Nope.
Does not go as planned. So
Oh no.
you open the graham cracker door, and you're in a familiar place. One you left
Oh,
not
no.
too long ago.
Great.
You're
I was right.
You're back atop the pumpkin pie.
Oh no.
It was the door that you didn't choose.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
my gosh.
no.
Now, we're going to play another one of my favorite ST games. I'm going to roll the happy sad die.
Oh,
We're going to
no.
find out what happens next. Oh, it's a super angry face.
Oh no. Oh no.
Super angry face. You hate / love to see it. Such a grumpy boy. So, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Great. Great. Love that. Absolutely. 7. Let's go. That's what I needed, right?
Nope. A 7, I'm afraid, does not cut it.
Just
But
barely.
what does cut it is this fork,
Oh,
which
God.
now comes barreling through, and now this entire pumpkin pie skyscraper has itself been scraped and is headed to the mouth of a massive anthropomorphic rabbit. What do you do?
Is the door still there?
We'll roll the die again and see if it is.
Oh, God. Please.
Congratulations, it's still there.
I'm back through the door then.
And just as we see this pumpkin pie enter the mouth of this rabbit, Raven Rat Terrier barrels through this graham cracker door and is now back in the gallery. And we turn the page. So, there was once a bovine made of sporks, really fine sporks. Then it got hit with a lightning bolt and it went boom. And all the sporks went every which way. And there were flames, and the people telling the story had a great time, but the dogs that got hit by the shrapnel are having a less great time. What are you guys doing?
Pain.
Oh, wow. I forgot how powerful I am. Oh, well.
Are there sporks lying around?
Yes, but most of them are mangled, a la the episode of Mythbusters where they fired cutlery out of a cannon.
So Bubz is just kind of sorting through to see if he can find the exact spork that he had before.
Give me a
just
random
kind of scattering
D20
around.
roll.
You know
Just-
what? Sure.
We will take some random chance here.
That's a 16.
16. You find the exact same spork you left that you threw originally. It's here, and it's pristine.
Ding, ding, ding. I found it,
Ah.
Daxi.
Oh, good for you, buddy. I'm happy you got your thing.
Bubz takes off the hat and
since-
puts the spork under the hat and then puts the hat back on.
Since we had some goals that were met, we're going to do something with this spork now. So this is now a magic item. It itself is a weapon with that is +1, has the returning quality, and does D3 +1 damage. That is part of its power. The other part is it is the spork of finding. If you randomly throw the spork, there is a chance that it will go missing. You roll a percentile die. If you roll 90 to 100, it disappears. But if you manage to roll beneath that, if you are trying to find a person, it will land and point in the direction of where that person is.
It's a good spork.
Very good spork. So, you have recovered your spork. You are recovering yourself from the spork explosion. You find yourself now in a scorched hallway. There is blueberry jello that has been mostly devoured behind you. There's at the end of this hallway, there is a red door. Do you go back down the corridor through the jello and explore elsewhere, or do you go through the door?
What do you think, Daxi?
Well, I mean, I ate most of that already, so that doesn't really hold my interest anymore. Let's see what else I can eat here. Nothing's attacking us. I mean, there is that pig,
Yeah.
but, you know, handled.
The door could be made of licorice.
Good point. Is it? Make spell check?
It is not made of licorice. It is made of door.
Oh, where's the fun? Fine, I guess we'll do it the regular way. Whatever. Yeah, try the
Yeah.
door.
You try the door. And good news, you have found the outside. There looks to be a very fine tea party happening in the garden. And that is through the screen porch. You can see this lovely garden and this lovely tea party happening. But you find yourself confined to this screened-in porch. And the entire porch itself is just a series of screens. It's like a giant trampoline room. As you find yourselves now bouncing. Just bouncing uncontrollably. And if you are going to try and escape this room, you are going to have to bounce properly to get to a door and open it.
I mean, you say we have to bounce proper. Okay. I mean, can we like bounce it like it's waves? Because I mean that unless you say otherwise. We still have the disc. Oh wait, I guess she cast lightning bolt, so she wouldn't have the disc anymore. Never mind. We're good.
So, yeah, you can give me a dexterity check, or I will even give you a traverse test to try and get through this bouncy porch.
Those are exactly the same for Daxi, so let's go ahead and check out that dex roll. Hey!
Nice.
Hey.
Bubz, let's see how you do.
Let's see. 12. Less than good.
Yeah, but we take the average of the two, and with a group effort, you are able to get to the screen door. And you sort of somersault through this door, and we turn the page. So, Raven, you're back in the gallery.
Sort of like back to the door, paws against it, eyes wide. Blue door it is. And I go for the blue door.
You open the blue door and you find yourself in a hallway. It is white. The floors are this green marble. The walls themselves are that off-white Fisher-Price plastic. And you can smell the distinct scent of ozone in the air. And maybe burnt blueberry gelatin? It's somewhere wafting in the distance.
My sword is out, but I'm walking forward.
You come to a junction where you look down one side and you can see slightly scorched, somewhat devoured, messily. Very dark, like darkest black. Anish Kapoor, don't you think about my blueberry gelatin. But yeah, there is scorched gelatin. And further down, you can just spy this red door. And there's also this other junction where you can see off, if going straight forward, hallway goes on. Can't quite see the end of it. You look off to the other side, and you think your eyes are deceiving you, but there is a moving wall, a spiked wall, but it's not spikes. It's made of sporks. There's a moving Temple of Doom-esque spork wall moving in one direction toward you. What do you do?
Red door, please. I don't trust
So-
that.
You rush for the red door.
Uh-oh.
We turn the page.
Uh-oh.
So, as you come out, Daxi,
We'll betcha.
Bubz, you see before you this beautiful spread on this table, on this long table, this beautiful garden. You can smell fresh vegetables. On top of the smell of different kinds of teas, tea cakes, pumpkin pie, just wonderful spread. Sitting at the table, on one end is this slight framed anthropomorphic rabbit. On the other end of the table, far end, this ridiculously long table, is an anthropomorphic dormouse. And sitting towards the center, facing the two of you, Daxi, there is a familiar dog sitting there, one that you met at the Stick Festival and you made a deal with.
Oh.
I see you. Her voice crops up. I see you finally made it.
So this was the other shoe. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of waiting for it. But I guess good to see you again.
Yes, I want to have some guests over for tea. And so I invited you and your friends over. I'm so glad you could make it.
I mean, you could have just sent an invite. I mean, we're all pretty cool. We're all
What?
pretty cool doggos.
This is definitely the most
Well,
ominous tea party I've ever been invited to.
Deeply so, right?
Thank you. Come, have a seat.
Oh, okay.
And so the two of you sit down to this very fine spread. Raven, you're going through the red door, right?
Yeah.
I've got good news and I've got bad news.
Great.
Bad news is you're not on the porch.
Oh. Fun.
Good news is that you found both Obbs and Hanklin. They are in giant ice cubes. It appears you found the freezer. They seem perfectly preserved and unharmed, as strange as that is. But yeah, you found the freezer. What do you do?
I take it the door behind me has closed.
Yes.
Is there another door?
Yes, there is something that appears like a walk-in freezer door ahead of you. Behind you is a red door.
Will the cubes in ice that these two dogs are encased in fit through either of the doors?
It will fit through the freezer door, not the red door.
Okay. I'm going to open the freezer door in spite of my better judgment.
You find a well-appointed kitchen. Incredibly well-appointed. And it's like a normal door. It doesn't just automatically close behind you.
Good. Okay, now I'm pushing the ice cubes out of this door.
You push them out, and you, I'm guessing, head over to the stove and turn that on. And the cubes begin to thaw. As Daxi, Bubz, you are having a delightful tea time. Go ahead and describe for us what tea you are enjoying and what food you are ingesting.
Okay,
Daxi, what
Bubz.
you
go ahead. Go ahead.
Bubz. Bubz. Go ahead. You volunteered. So what are you?
Bubz
what are you drinking? What are you eating?
is sitting at the table and has this perfectly, like I would say, like 165-degree cup of tea, which is perfect for Bubz. And it is this really rich mint tea that just brings back all of these great feelings from Bubz's puppyhood. And Bubz is eating these little finger sandwiches that are just like bread with a little bit of cream cheese and cucumber and salt and maybe some basil chiffonaded up and tossed in there, and it's just having the time of his life. Honestly, this has gone way better than being attacked by a spork ox.
Fantastic. And Daxi, what are you drinking and eating?
Well, I imagine Daxi's drinking some blueberry tea in honor of the second Jello that was consumed. But in terms of eating, I feel like the not eating list would be shorter. So she's not eating radishes. Yeah, no, that's the short list.
Okay. But along the spread, you see there are multiple custard-style pies, pumpkin being prominent amongst them. But there's also like an egg custard. There's a French silk. There's also strawberry rhubarb, blueberry cobbler, raspberry cobbler, a number of different tea cakes, and many different kinds of finger sandwiches, perfectly cut. As your hostess lets you know that it is so rare that she is able to put together a party. And so, on this most auspicious of days, a day where some local heroes are going off to decide whether they are heroes or not, she had to have a celebration. And as Obbs and Hanklin shake off the cold in this kitchen that overlooks the garden, and we see a very similar tableau to where we ended last episode, where we see the dormouse, we see the rabbit, we see on one side of the table this somewhat fey-appearing dog, and both Bubz and Daxi sitting across from her. That is where we'll end today's story.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Pugmire What Lies Buried. Now for you to find these wonderful people who have played our wonderful doggos and find out what they're up to. So first and foremost, Alicia, good friend, how are you doing and where can we find you?
Hey, all right. I'm just feeling filled with the miracle that is the sun. So I'm great. You can find me over on my Twitch channel at Petty Energy, playing some game tonight. I don't know what it is, so tune in and check that out. Easiest place to find me is over on Twitter at NNG98. Tweet things. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's snakes, sometimes it's just art. I think it's cool. It's a regular cavalcade of things. There, you can also find me on the Hollow Flames podcast at HollowPod over on Twitter. I think our next episode should be out next week. There are probably some things I'm forgetting, but again, if you want to stay up to date, just follow me over on Twitter. It was a lot of fun.
Someone who is always fun to have at the table is Marcus. How are you doing, friend, and where can we find you?
I am doing great, especially after this wild episode, so thank you for that. You all can find me at BestKindaWorst on Twitter and Twitch. If you're interested in what I get up to, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes work, writing on Gen Con TV's news show, Table Takes, every Friday at, I should know this time, 2 p.m. So check that out. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here. This is a lot of fun. This is a good way to spend my Sunday, I think. So thank you all for that.
Thank you all so much. And someone who I always have a great time sharing a story with is Celeste. How are you, friend, and where can we find you?
Honestly, this always proves to be exactly what I need, because I get off work and I come right here, and sometimes I'm grouchy from work, and like this is just what I need. This is just what I need. Hi, I'm Celeste PLS with way too many underscores on Twitter. I'm Celeste Shepherd here on Twitch. I don't do a whole lot of streaming of my own, but you can find me on other people's channels. Like, tonight, ? We might, maybe, be premiering a show over on twitch.tv/Mattev7. We're still playing it by ear, but we might be premiering our Urban Shadows Darkness Falls series. So that might be existing tonight at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If it does not happen tonight, it should happen 2 weeks from now. So definitely keep an eye on my Twitter. You will see go live tweets. You will see me yelling about that. Something else you'll see me yelling about is the recently announced Tales to Inspire by the Misconceptions Podcast Network. I am not going to be in the first season. I can tell you I'm in the show. I cannot tell you what seasons I'm going to be in. But that is premiering May 2nd, 2022. So definitely go check out Misconceptions, their Twitter, to get all the latest on that. Patrons of the Misconceptions Podcast Network can already get access to the Session Zeros, as well as the 0 issues of all of the heroes in the first season, and the giant-sized issues at that. So if you are down for some good heroic content, if you are down for superheroes aging through the decades and making a real impact on our timeline, you should check that out. It's going to be a great time. And I think that's it for me so far. You can catch me back here next Sunday, same doggo time, same doggo channel. And we'll see if we can actually finally get started on this the thing that we've been trying to do. The fairies, man, they're always like this. Everywhere I go, they follow me, I swear. Me
The Fae
specifically.
have their favorites, but they never play favorites. Hey everybody, Pope here. Popeworldbuild on Twitter, Popeworldbuild on Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. If you want to see more of my ridiculous face, you get a number of opportunities throughout the week. There may be a show this evening, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, over on Matt Simpson's channel. Keep your eyes peeled on Twitter for that. Then tomorrow night, back here on Weave the Tale at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we continue on with Simbaroom Stories. Sam will be guest hosting that one again, doing a one-shot. We're on a river in Davokar. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die terribly. So if you want to see that, tune in tomorrow night. Then Wednesday, over on Follow Black Cats, see me play one of the most villainous characters I have ever laid my hands on. He's trying to go somewhat good now, but the world has other plans, and some of those plans are quite explosive. So if you want to see how everything goes wrong in a modern spy thriller, tune in 2 p.m. Eastern over on Follow Black Cats. Then on Thursday, the good folks over at Critical Misses decided to trust me with running a Masks game. Masks Advanced Studies. Come see some university-age superheroes and a reformed villain. Try to decide what is more troublesome, mandatory credits or supervillains. I'll have an answer
credits.
for you by the end of the... Well, there's an answer for you right now. So tune in for those youthful heroics, and then on Saturdays over on Valdrian's channel, we continue on a dark path in Defiance, the Trail of the Dead. Things were going relatively fine. And then in the middle, downtown Seattle, a giant flaming tree appeared out of nowhere, and all of the normal humans begin singing Firebird. And everything's going wrong. Everything's going terribly, terribly wrong. So if you want to see how a reformed devil reacts to giant flaming trees appearing out of nowhere in an apocalyptic setting, tune in for that, 9 p.m. Eastern, Valdrian's channel. And then be back here on Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern, for more Pugmire, What Lies Buried. I have a sneaking suspicion that we will have a lovely meal, and then our heroes will be off to the Bog of Bones to seek out Sari the Oracle for advice on what to do next. But Bog always has a way of twisting and turning and doing its own thing. So we'll see how our good dogs traverse the Bog of Bones. And thank you all for joining us, whether live, VOD, or YouTube. A story is nothing without its audience. Thank you all so much for being here, being a part of this. And one last plug. This Wednesday, here on Weave the Tale, that is March the 9th. Please tune in if you can. It is an all-day charity event raising funds for LGBT youth in Texas with Equality Texas. So, check out Weave the Tale's Twitter, promote if you can, show up if you can, donate if you can. Thank you all so much for your time, your care. Look after one another. See you soon.